So the next asset on our watch list is my favorite, and that is the XAUUSD, which is popularly known as the gold spot. Now, on the XAUUSD, we have an interesting situation going on right now, as I have a buy position triggered after observing the persistent buy pressure that has been existing in this market in the last 24 hours. Now, in the wake of the Israel-Hamas conflict and the likelihood of the Federal Reserve maintaining an unchanged interest rate decision in November, the market sentiments is somewhat positive in favor of the gold spot. As you all know, majority in this kind of situation will want to be moving their capitals from currencies into safe haven assets such as the gold. Now, despite price action struggling to capitalize on the rebound from the 1908 that you will see here, there's still evident resilience that buyers may take over this market. Now, let's talk about what really happened yesterday and what led to the idea that we should be selling. Remember, we had a sell position initially, and let's look at what happened. So at the beginning of this week, it was more of a bearish momentum as we saw the week started on a strong bearish note, though price was initially trying um to establish a range here before we saw the breakdown of that support line there at the $1,918 level with a strong engulfing bearish candle. And one of the things I said here yesterday is that because of the situation we have, we might be seeing price drop to the downside in an attempt to do a retracement, which is of course going to be as a result of profit taking activities. Now, one of the things that for the buttresses that was this impulsive move here, and with the way things were going when the week started on a bearish note, I was of the opinion that we might see price drop into the structure before the uptrend continuation happens. However, following the sell position that was triggered at the retest of the 1918 yesterday, we saw how sellers struggled around the 1915 zone. So every attempt by the sellers to continue to the downside here has been met with strong resistance from the buyers, which further emphasized the strong presence of bullish expectations around this area. And as a result of this observation, I did identify the 1915 zone as a temporary zone going forward, and that as long as price remains above this 1915, we shall remain bullish in this market. And the only condition that will make us want to sell is for price to drop and break down the zone, retest it to the downside to confirm, then we can join that move. Now, in addition to this old setup we have here is a simple uptrend continuation pattern, which is looking like an asymmetrical triangle. Now look at what we have here. We have the impulsive move and price action transition into a consolidation that forms this kind of pattern. And of course, when we have this kind of structure pattern on our chart, it's a sign that price will continue to the upside. And of course, we do want to be waiting for the breakout of the resistant line of that pattern to incite the uptrend move. And if you look at what has been going on here in the last 3 to 4 hours, price action had already broken out of that structure, which interestingly lines up with that 1918 level. Now, for those who took advantage of this opportunity, well done to you for being on standby to capitalize on this move. So you do want to be moving your stop losses to break even right now. Let's secure this current position. However, for those who had missed out on this opportunity, well, I will be advising you to exercise patience at this juncture, as we might need to see new structures emerge before we jump into this position. Now, what are the things we are going to be looking at to be part of this uptrend move? Now, the first thing I would like to emphasize here is this ascending trend line since last week Friday, after connecting the series of higher lows, as you will see here. Now, as long as price remains above this ascending trend line, we want to feel comfortable in our buy position. Now, if you had missed out on this breakout of the 1918, then you might want to exercise patience, waiting for price to come back, retest both the trend line or the 1918 level, where the appearance of buy pressure on our lower time frame will be a beautiful opportunity to join the uptrend move. So let's see how the market will play around this area. So that's one way we are going to be looking out for an uptrend continuation. Then the other one here is this 1923 level, a level which had been a strong selling niche at some point during the course of yesterday's trading session. Now price appeared to have broken out of the structure right now, and this is further emphasizing how buyers are gradually building momentum here, as they have taken out all the sell positions within the zone identified around this area. Now, with the way things are going right now, I would advise you to hold on for a retest of structure before you want to be joining an uptrend move to confirm this. But if you're already profitable, personally, I already have a buy stop order above the 1923 level. So if you're profitable so far this week, you can afford to leverage on that, and let's see how this is going to go. Then if price continues to climb, breaking out of the $1,927.50 level and the 1930 zone, we do want to be adding more buy positions to our existing trade. So on the XAUUSD, I want to hold on to a bullish bias here, considering the fact that it is a dependable safe haven. That is, the gold is a dependable safe haven, and majority will want to be keeping their funds in this particular asset. So let's see what happens here today as we anticipate the retail sales data, which is coming up in about 2 hours from now. However, in as much as we're looking out for buying opportunity, you of course know how we do it in this community. We also want to keep tabs with the potentials that sellers could also come in. And what is the condition that will make us negate the idea of buying and jumping into a sell position? Well, for me to sell the XAUUSD today, I would rather want to see price action take out all the buy positions around the $1,915 zone. So I want to see a breakdown of this structure, and if price breaks down this temporary demand zone, price will be back within the seller's territory, which is emphasized by this descending trend line we have here. So if price drops below the temporary demand zone at the 1915, we want to be getting ready to sell. Now a confirmation is needed, retest of structure or retest of this ascending trend line. Just one important thing we want to be seeing here is the inability of buyers to break out of that ascending trend line, which will reflect on the chart as continuous selling pressure. Then we want to be part of the bearish move to the downside. Then a further breakdown of the 1908 will welcome more selling opportunities, breakdown of the 1900 level as well. So typical target for sellers still remains within that zone between the 1900 area and of course the 1880 level. So at this point, I'm still holding on to a bullish bias, like I said earlier, and I doubt if sellers will come into this market. But if they are going to be coming in, then I would need a breakdown of this demand zone for me to start considering selling. So you do want to be marking out these levels on your chart, as you will be needing them as a reference point to guide your independent trading decisions. And don't forget to mark out this levels here, has they will be giving us a privilege of capitalizing and maximizing the potential of that bullish move that we have here. So these are my views on the XAUUSD for today. It has been an interesting experience with you guys this morning. Let's see if there are any questions before we round off for today's trading session.